Director Stewart, you got that? Sure. Steve, the other two directors back in chambers?
We're missing one. Be right there.
Gotcha.
What time did we go in? Did you write it down, Mr. President?
Yeah, it was 5:35.
Okay. Okay, we're here.
Okay. I get a motion to come out of closed session.
Don't move, Byron.
Vice President, got a motion by Vice President Glennon. Can I get a second? What? We have a motion by Vice President Glennon, a second by Director Wood to come out of closed session. Roll call vote, please.
President Rickland,
Yes.
Vice President Byron Glennon,
Yes.
Director Ben Stewart,
Yes.
Director Alfred Wallace,
Yes.
Director Greg Wood.
Yes. And that was 6:07.
Okay, it's there was a 5-0 vote to come out of closed session at 6:07 p.m. Okay, so there was nothing to report in closed session. Let's continue. It's now 6:07. We open the general session of our board meeting. At this time, I'll read the public comments. At this time, any person may address the board on any subject within the district's jurisdiction which is not on the agenda. However, any non-agenda matter will be referred to staff for reports and/or action at a subsequent board meeting, and no action can be taken on any such item discussed unless the action has been authorized under 54954.2 Boy of the Government Code. Any person may also address the board on any agenda matter at the time the matter is discussed prior to board's consideration and action. Speakers are requested to limit their comments to 5 minutes. It's now 6:08 p.m. and I open the floor for public comments.
Speaking as a member of the public, I'm going to give some more quotes from comments from my father in the past. These are quotes my father used in a presentation to the public on President's Day some 70 years ago. It's not President's Day today, but it was then. Washington and Lincoln. His title was, "If the foundations are destroyed, what can the righteous do?" And he quotes George Washington in his presentation. George Washington entered the office of the presidency with these words. This is what George Washington said when he became the president. "The benevolent smiles of heaven can never be expected on a nation that disregards the eternal rules of order and the right which heaven itself has ordained." In 1776, when he left office, these were his farewell words. "Of all the dispositions and habits with which to lead political prosperity, religion and morality are indispensable supports. In vain would the man claim the tribute of patriotism who should labor to subvert these great pillars of religion and morality." That's it.
Thank you, Director Glennon. Again, like I said, I am amazed at how the words that your dad, you said 7 years ago, how they have so much foundation and meaning today. Thank you for being willing to share those with us.
Those are actually, he was quoting George Washington.
Well, I know, but I mean, the fact that he had them, because you continue to bring them up, and I look at a lot of things that get shared with us, And not a lot of things that get shared has value and substance. Everything that you have shared from back then has value and substance. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Is there anyone else for public comments? At this time, it's 6:10. I'll close public comments. I'll go down to voluntary roll call via teleconference. Any member of the public on teleconference wishing to identify themselves as present for this meeting, please do so for the record in the minutes. I now open that up. It's 6:11 and open the floor up for the voluntary public roll call.
John Joyce reporting for the Rosamond News.
Good evening, Mr. Joyce.
Good evening.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? It's now 6:11, and I close the voluntary public roll call. And I move down to the consent calendar. And the first item we have is CC1, the cash balances report for January of 2022. Can I get a motion to accept? We have a motion by Vice President Gunner. May I get a second?
I'll second it, Wallace.
We have a second by Director Wallace. Prior to the vote on it, does anyone have any questions regarding the consent calendar cash balances report? Hearing none, can I get a roll call vote for acceptance, please?
President Whitlock,
Yes.
Vice President Barnes-Lennon,
Yes.
Director Ben Stewart,
Yes.
Director Alfred Wallace,
Yes.
Director Greg Boyd.
Yes. For the record show for the consent calendar item CC number 1, the cash balance report for January 2022, that the 5-0 vote for approval. We move down to the presentation, and that's the water reclamation plant update, and the presenter is Brock Smith, Public Works Manager. Brock, you guys here?
Yes, I am. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. You have the floor.
Thank you. Not a lot of progress to report at the wastewater treatment plant since the last meeting, but last week supplies did start to arrive on site to continue the installation of additional aeration chains at the Biolac Basin. So since those parts arrived, the contractor and district staff has started the installation and assembly of those components, and we look forward to reaching completion on this project.
Yeah, outstanding. So, Brock, as where we're at now, you're happy with the progress to this point we're at now?
So in total, on paper, we're at roughly 98.5% complete on the project from a construction standpoint, from a billing standpoint. We're just over 98% complete. There's a few just punch list items that we're trying to wrap up to get this rolling again. A lot of it's been supplies, delays in procuring supplies, but I think we're making progress, and we can hope in the next few months this plant will be online.
Well, appreciate it. I appreciate you giving me keeping the board updated on that. Directors, any questions for the Public Works Manager regarding the reclamation plant? Thank you there, Brock. Let's move on to Director reports, comments, or future agenda items. I'll start with Director Wood.
I have no future agenda items at this time.
Any comments you have for us?
No, it's just that attended the ABEC last night, and they are making progress on their high desert water bank. A lot of interesting developments in that, and we're going to see how it works out. But as it was reported, water for the work and the wells, the pumps to be installed, and when it's completed, they will be putting water in the water bank and then taking out 70,000 acre feet of water a year for their needs as metropolitan water. That's all I had to report.
Hey, Greg, could you, Steve, or Byron at our next meeting, if you're up, could you guys do us a favor? We talk about ABEC a lot, and the audience changes a lot that listens to the meetings. If one of you folks could just, because I know you and Byron attend the meetings, and Steve, could you guys kind of give us a summary of where we all, get a summary on where ABEC fits in versus, because I know people hear different things throughout the communities about water supplier versus water, retail versus wholesale. So could one of you guys, either you, Byron, or Steve, maybe in the next meeting, because we talk about AVEC a lot, and I just want the community to be aware, because the audience, the community changes from time to time. If one of you folks just kind of give who AVEC is, kind of what they do, and how we all kind of stack up, with AVEC, because I've heard people say, well, AVEC, if we get our water, what's AVEC there for? So maybe if one of you folks are willing, at one of our future meetings, just kind of give a summary of what AVEC is and what they do. If you choose.
We can do that. Byron, you want to work together?
One thing that probably a lot of the community isn't even aware of, it's Antelope Valley East Kern Water Agency. And when it was established, Rural Williams was one of the main men who established that. And, of course, he was coming from Kern County, from Rosamond, to do that. And I almost don't want to say this in public, but the treatment plant here in Rosamond, just right up the street from where the district is, Rosamond people have paid for that treatment facility, and it belongs to Kern County. Well, not just Rosamond, but Boron. It belongs to Kern County people. Yep. Not Antelope Valley people, but Kern County people. Yeah.
Well, like I said, I just think it'd be kind of good because, Brian, you have a lot of history there. He's been in the region for forever. And Greg, he's been a board member for, I think, between the three of you guys, and it doesn't have to be nothing long in detail, but I think the better the community knows how all these pieces fit together, they'll understand more of the dynamics that we go through to do what we do for them. So with that said, Director Glennon, you have the floor, sir.
Rosamond boys basketball team, which is kind of dear to my heart, won last night against Wenatchee, 62-40 in the CIF semifinal game. And they're playing in the quarterfinal. They're playing in the semifinal game next Tuesday against Dorset in Bakersfield. But they're playing here in Rosamond. And got a good team. A few seniors that are going to be gone, but they got some young guys coming along. And just to add to the AVAC, I sense the tone of the AVAC meeting was that the water picture is kind of looking up, especially after the little storm on the same night that they had their meeting. How many of you noticed the little snow we had this morning? Anybody noticed that?
So interesting. Thank you, Director Glennon. Hey, Director Stewart, what do you have for us, sir?
See if I can unmute. Excuse me. Let me see if I can unmute my phone fast enough. No, the only thing I want to say is just everybody be safe out there and follow the rules that are set forth by either your religion or your chosen political affiliation, whatever that may be. Just be smart. And I just want to remind people, this little sprinkle we got yesterday or the past couple weeks, it doesn't get us out of the woods. It helps. Don't get me wrong. It looks nice. It cleans up the area, but make sure you're shutting your grass off. It's not getting watered and stuff like that. Let's have it help than hurt. So that's it. That's all I got.
Thank you, sir. Director Wallace, sir, go ahead.
I don't have anything.
Okay. Two things I'd like to share. We brought up about the weather. The sky's been crystal clear today, and even though it's been cold crystal clear, it's been a refreshing crystal clear. And when you look at the clouds, the sky and all that, you just have to think about the majesty of it and keep going. And Byron, you brought up the basketball, my daughter, Siobhan, who played at Rosamond High School, she's a CIF Southern Section official, and she worked the quarterfinals basketball game. Siobhan did this past weekend out she belongs to the Riverside unit. So what I would like to do as a public announcement for the kids here, they need officials. So we need officials. So if anyone has young people or yourself, if you've ever had anything to want to officiate, look into it, because it's another way to give back. If you like various sports, that's all the sports. You can officiate and you can give back. Like I said, the officials now, they're getting, a lot of them are getting a lot older, and kids stay younger and get faster. So something to consider. I want everyone to stay well, to stay healthy, and go ahead.
Rick, you know how abused officials are.
Yes,
Nobody appreciates them.
I've had my shout outs, but I've been beat up and beat down, but he still keep rolling. Thank you. And with that, let's go down to any other director have anything before we go to the legal update? Our legal counsel. Okay. General counsel, you have the floor, sir.
I don't need the floor. Nothing tonight.
Okay, sir. Stay well, stay dry. How about our general manager, Steve?
Yeah, just quick. I think it was time to comment on the water picture of the community of Rosamond. As some may remember, the Antelope Valley water basin was subject to litigation. We call it the adjudication, to determine how much water would be safely extracted per year, which is a safe, sustainable yield, and allow the basin to recharge under normal conditions. After the court determined the safe, sustainable yield, that number was divided among all water users in the valley. Each was allocated a quantity of water that, after a ramp down period, would be the amount of water each could pump without penalty. Rosamond Community Services District allocation was 404 acre-feet of water after the 7-year ramp down. The first 2 years, no cutback was required, but beginning the third year and ending the fifth year in 2022. This is the last year of the ramp down. All water users were to scale back 20% per year until the end of 2022. Beginning 2023, if Rosamond CSD did nothing, the amount of water they could pump was 404 acre-feet. When at the high, Rosamond pumped 3,000 acre-feet. This would leave a hole of approximately 2,600 acre-feet. However, due to the drought, residents were required by the governor to conserve water due to the drought. Because of our community's willingness to cut back, our adjusted need is approximately 2,600 acre-feet. So this has required the district to locate approximately 2,196 acre-feet of water to make up the difference. The significance of the action would be that the district, in order to make up the difference, would have to locate and buy to make up the shortfall. We currently pump water at approximately $98 an acre-foot. When buying water to replace what had been taken from us, it could range from anywhere from $425 to $483 an acre-foot for one time, which must be purchased each year, and the price climbs each year. Water for permanent water from $8,000 to $13,000 an acre-foot. The difference in purchasing permanent water is it becomes the district water forever. This means after 30 years, a $10,000 an acre-foot water would cost the equivalent of $333 an acre-foot, because you had the use of that entire 30 years. And it would be vastly less than it would be for what we would have to pay on the open market, and approximately 7% a year. One-time water could be as high as $3,000 plus an acre-foot in the next 30 years. Water at that rate. Existing water has become a commodity, and to secure the community's future, we prioritize the existing community's need. Development has to pay for the actual purchase of the water, plus the overhead to locate it and bring it to them before they will receive a will-serve letter from the district. We couldn't wait until we were without a source of water and pay a high price for for it at that time if we could find it when we needed it. We don't have a crystal ball and have to make the best deals possible to secure the community's water future. That's why we have been buying water for the district. It's for the securitization of the Rosamond community's water future. Thank you very much. That's all I have.
Steve, I think the important thing about what you just said is the more we talk about how all this comes together, I hope the community is understanding that when we do things, when we ask for things, it's not for individual gain, it's for community wellness. Because, you know, we were talking about paying that water. And like, I think it'd be real good if we could kind of give the community a snapshot of where AVEC fits into the picture. But, you know, we just recently had, you know, I remember when the folks, we had the rate study and we voted on it. There were a lot of people that were upset about it. But one thing you said that I hope the community remembers, you said if we don't have to use what we asked for, we're not going to take it. And that becomes really important. So I appreciate the fact that you gave that summary. And I don't think we can ever go wrong providing information to the community because they elected us to keep them informed. They have a right to get mad at us and ask questions, but every time we've had a critical question pressed against us, we've been able to give them the right answer. And not like the answer that you received. They've got an answer nonetheless. So I appreciate the effort on your part, your staff, and my fellow directors. So with that said, hold on, let me try to listen. You want to stand by? Okay, that was it. Oh, John Houghton, I'm sorry. John, Public Works Update. Are you there, John?
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening. Since our last board meeting, the Public Works Department worked on some of the county's walkways that they're putting in on Rosamond Boulevard from 15th Street to 20th Street and down 20th Street to Humboldt Hall. We've had to relocate 3 fire hydrants, and they also found an abandoned line that was leaking and fixed that. They completed the monthly meter reading and a couple of service lines. That's all I have.
Okay. Hey, John, I'd like to tell you thank you, because every time, and to me it's kind of funny, but every time I drive by your crew, you guys are moving and working. When I drive by the people in the city here, they're watching each other not work. So whatever you're doing, keep on doing it, because I think the people down here in LA, they can learn something about what it takes to get a project handled. So I appreciate that one. So prior to adjournment, is there anything else any of the directors would like to bring up before we adjourn? And I get a motion for an adjournment.
Don't move, Byron.
We have a motion by Vice President Glenn for an adjournment, and I get a second.
I'll second it, Wallace.
We have Wallace. We have a motion by Vice President Glennon, a motion by Vice President Glennon, and a second by Director Wallace. Roll call vote, please.
President Rickland,
Yes.
Vice President Brian Glennon,
Yes.
Stewart,
Yes.
Director Wallace,
Yes.
Director Greg.
Yes.
Well, the record shows there was a 5-0 vote for the adjournment at 6:29 p.m. Good night, everyone, and stay well.
Good night.